Alright, everybody. Chapter 1. Access denied for reasons of national security. Mark Phillips and Kathy O'Brien. Chapter 1. The Most Dangerous Game. "Wake up, Sleeping Beauty," Mark said as he gently roused me with a fresh cup of fresh coffee. "Welcome to a new day." My eyes opened. My God, did I die? I wondered, sensing the love and peace surrounding me. Mark smiled. "You just switched your former existence for life, not death, and it's time you begin remembering your past," he said as he strapped a beautiful watch to my wrist. Noting my wonder and surprise, he continued, "Now you know that I gave you the time of day." The time of day? No one had ever given me their time before. They only took mine, and I never wore a watch before. I did not even know what month or year it was, let alone the time of day. I had no concept of time, which Mark explained I must always monitor from that moment on. A concept of time equated to awareness, and I had an intense need to be aware of my past. You have to know where you've been to know where you're going, and you're going to remember everything. Mark appeared confident, emitting a sense of security while I teetered on the edge of a dangerous past. "You say someone is trying to kill you. Why?" I could not think to answer. I was totally amnesic. All I knew was that his life, as well as my 8-year-old daughter Kelly's and mine, were all on the line. We were in grave danger, literally dodging bullets while I desperately sought the answers why. Absolute mind control was the only existence Kelly and I knew prior to Mark Phillips rescuing us directly from the CIA DIA's MK Ultra Project Monarch in 1988. Through a series of carefully orchestrated events, Mark cleverly maneuvered our mind control handler, Alex Houston, into a position of trust that provided him the latitude to lift us free of our existence. In addition to helping me remove a few of my meager belongings from Houston's farm in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, Mark arranged for our livestock pets to be freed from Houston's horrific abuse as well. People who abuse children oftentimes abuse animals, as though they have no regard for life at all. Houston was no exception, and Mark knew it. While Mark tended to the horses, cows, guineas, chickens, cats, and dogs, I spun the combination on the safe in the bedroom to retrieve Houston's familiar CIA diary and ledger. We left the premises momentarily undetected, and Kelly and I moved into an apartment. When my politically affluent owner in MK Ultra, U.S. Senator Robert C. Byrd, and other so-called leaders of our country involved in the project realized the problem Alex Houston's bumbling had created, our danger intensified. Many government secrets and personal reputations were staked on the belief that I would never be free to recall that which I was supposed to forget. They had never stopped to consider the strength of the human spirit, the power of love, or what could happen when a man of integrity like Mark Phillips opened their Pandora's box of secrets. Now, their paradigm was shifting, and our danger intensified accordingly. Kelly and I could not survive on our own, and soon moved into Mark's house for protection. Within days, the local sheriff where Mark lived advised him to leave town, claiming a special agent dispatched from Nashville's FBI office said the CIA had a hit on him that had something to do with that woman. Indeed, traffic had conspicuously increased on the unmarked, rural dead-end gravel road leading to Mark's remote country home. We noticed many unfamiliar faces on the road, in the woods, and even in the trees, who we jokingly referred to as the Watchers, watching the Watchers, watching the Watchers. Then, without warning, all of Mark's personal identification records disappeared. His life savings had seemingly vanished into thin air from his personal and business bank accounts. Unnerved by these CIA tactics, and more determined than ever to find out why they were happening, Mark implemented deliberate steps to ensure that our lives were not taken too. He quickly sold everything he owned, including his Back to the Future DeLorean used in the rescue, retaining only basic necessities. The funds would be used to take Kelly and me away from his no longer private residence to the safety and serenity of Alaska. Mark understood that safety was tantamount to memory recovery. At the same time, none of us could be safe until I could recall who and what we were up against, and why. As we prepared to embark on our journey to the top of the world, my former husband, Alex Houston, attempted to prevent me from leaving. For nearly 8 years, Houston had handled Kelly and me much the way he did his ventriloquist dummy. Now it seemed he wanted his merchandise back at all cost. I swore out 3 arrest warrants on Alex Houston for threats and attempts on our lives with the Nashville, Tennessee Metropolitan Police Department. I sought further protection through Nashville's District Attorney's Office, where I explained to the DA's investigator, Skip Sigmund, that Alex Houston was a ventriloquist and stage hypnotist capable of torturous controls. He responded that until gunshots were fired, nothing could be done to protect me. Mark accelerated our pace to leave Tennessee for Alaska. I could not yet think to trust Mark, though I sensed that I could. My capacity for conscious thought and reason had been stifled through decades of torturous abuse, whereby I could only do as I was told. Mark certainly did not order me to go with him. He didn't even know me, let alone like me. How could he? I didn't even know who I was, where I had been, or even my own age or name at times. Without the capacity for the free thought, I had no free will and ultimately no soul expression. I had no way to express love even if I could feel it. With nothing to give and nothing to lose, I relied only on my heightened senses. I could sense much like an animal could sense, and I had seen the trust and affection his pet raccoons and foxes had for him. Even the farm animals that Houston had abused so horribly exhibited trust for Mark. Kelly sensed trust for Mark as well. After all, he was the first man who did not abuse us and genuinely cared for our well-being and welfare. His patient, gentle manner was therapeutic, while his prosperity for handling weapons and apparent intellect kept us safe against all odds. His inside knowledge of CIA inner workings due to his own past proved invaluable in keeping us a step ahead of the most dangerous game and continues to do so to this date. February 4th, 1988 marked the beginning of life for Kelly and me. It also marked the beginning of a new kind of survival as we embarked on the most dangerous game of international proportion. Alright, everyone, that was chapter 1. Access denied for reasons of national security. The documented journey from CIA mind control slave to successful U.S. government whistleblower by Kathy O'Brien and Mark Phillips. Next, we have Chapter 2, Pros and Cons. That's going to be from page 14 to, it's going to look like page 21. So, we're going to have a pretty okay sense of next chapter. So, get ready for that, guys. Thank you for your time. Hopefully this uploads well. We're having trouble uploading Transformation of America Chapter 1. So, hopefully that gets done.